How do you make a good action scene? You take a bunch of guns and a bunch of explosives, you mash it all up, but here's the thing. You can't just film guys shooting guns and guys getting shot. You gotta make a story out of it. You have to do more than just have a fancy Rube Goldberg device set up with guns and bullets rather than like wheels and cogs. Sam and I set out to do just that. One action scene in particular, Vault 1 action scene, was quite the endeavor because this is the first action scene where the hero of the story kind of spreads his wings for the first time. Wins over the trust of his comrades who up to this point have kind of think he's a screw up. The other thing is we had planned to shoot this in one building in particular that had this really cool tile facade, these cool like glass tile windows. But the people in that building wouldn't return our phone calls. That was out the window. And we had a second building that we were planning on shooting in. That we went there, we shot a video board, it was all great. And then we shot another scene there one night. Everybody's like, yo, this building's filled with asbestos. And it's asbestos idea if you don't shoot here anymore. And we're like, okay, can't shoot here. On the weekend of, before this whole scene hits the fan, the National Biscuit Company building that we had visited multiple times. We go there on the weekend, we re-choreograph the action scene for the third time because the geometry of the scene dictates how the action scene flows. So we re-choreograph it for the third time, we figure out where the new vault's gonna be, where all the bad guys are gonna come in, where all the good guys are gonna hole up, all that good stuff. Shoot it all in our little point-and-click Canon camera. We roll on into that scene. And this is our first time working with blanks.
We're at Vault 1. It's one of the biggest action scenes in the piece. We have 3 days here. 1 day to shoot all the dialogue, 2 days to shoot all the action. We're shooting a movie.
Day 12, action begins.
I love this guy.
Battlefield is a action game. You are running around shooting guns, you're blowing things up. We knew going into this that's what we wanted to do. But what was even better here was now that we were working with a larger crew and a larger budget than we're used to, we could actually start to afford to do these things for real. Usually when we do an action scene for our YouTube channel, we have a bunch of airsoft guns, do CG muzzle flashes and CG everything. Now that we're working with a lot of cool professionals, we are able to cart in tons of blank firing machine guns. We have cool real spark, dust hits, fire, and
squibs.
We have air cannons shooting debris all over the place. We finally now have all these tools at our disposal so that when we run in to shoot an action sequence, there's very little CG needed after we're done shooting it. It's kind of like everything actually happened in the frame. Our goal for the action was to do as much practically as we could because, yeah, a blank firing gun takes a little longer to set up, is a little more expensive, but you know, when you weigh that to the cost of doing a bunch of CG muzzle flashes later on, it's actually a much better idea. It just takes a little more time and a little bit more money on the front end.
And also it influences the acting a ton. When an actor is holding a real gun, even if they are not shooting it, they take the scene so much more seriously. It's easy to goof around when you're holding plastic guns.
Yeah, you're like,
it's easy to think you're a hero and you're just doing whatever. But when you have a real gun and the next shot requires you to shoot that real gun and do something with it, you take it seriously.
You cannot fake the acting that happens on someone's face when they're like,
Yeah,
it's like
that squint that happens when
yeah,
things are really
because
loud.
it's an explosion happening right here, and you have to kind of go. Ugh. It's good.
But the mood immediately lightens on the set when you start shooting blanks.
Everyone just gets all smiles. People on set were feeling a little under the weather on a few of the days. All right, your shot's up. And they take the gun and go, and they're like, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sprinkle a little gunpowder.
Everyone's like, I'm cold. I want to go inside. And you hand them the gun. They're like, oh, whatever you want me to do.